Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2.5, shut up, of Dragons and Dungeons, where a group of us nerdy-ass voice actors sit around and play Dungeons and Dragons. My name is Matthew Mercer, and I will be your host for this evening. Yeah, I wish. No. So, situation for tonight. A couple of our players, unfortunately, well, actually, to go over it for last week, 3 of our players, I was included in that technically, so 2 players and the DM were away to the LaveCon convention down in by Northampton in England, which is a convention for Elite Dangerous, which is the game that brought us all together. So we were unable to play there. The LAN room that was set up there so that people could take their own systems and play their own games and stuff, that was set up at 6:30, but then was closed until 9:30, and then people could go in and play on the machines and stuff like that. And with everyone consuming vast amounts of alcohol, wasn't exactly the best thing to do. So we couldn't really get a session set up on the Saturday, and on the Sunday, everything was winding down. People were leaving that day. It wasn't really beneficial for us to make an attempt to run a session that day, unfortunately. This week, 2 of our players are also going to be MIA. We've got one of our players, Talar. She is at a convention herself over in the United States, so she will not be able to attend today, unfortunately. And Temple, Evelyn, is actually covering a shift at work, unfortunately, having to cover one of her colleagues who's off sick. So Evelyn's not going to be able to attend either. That being said, however, we are going to be pushing swiftly onwards. We do have something planned, something in the works, which will be quite evident here soon. So we're going to switch over. I'm going to unmute and undeafen in Discord, say hi to the guys, and we'll do a little catch up. So here we go. In the first session, we really need an intro theme. We really need an intro theme. You know that? Like Critical Role, like a theme song with some really snazzy animation and shit like that, so that after I do my little spiel to begin with, like a really cool like trance 80s style song plays, and you know, it comes to a title card and then it fades out with fire and shit, and then it's just us. Kind of like Critical Role. I can't say that I have. Okay. No, probably not going to be using that, to be fair. Why is that still deafened? Yeah, I just realized that, Contraband. For some stupid reason, it did not unmute my system sounds. Oh well, it's fixed now. Yeah, hold on. Adam, David, can one of you guys say something just to test this?
Something.
Yeah, there you go. Well, thank you. Exactly what I hoped someone would do. Anyway, getting in from last time we played, you had finished dealing with the commotion that had dropped down in the alleyway outside of the inn, which turned out to be a Joga who's actually been assaulted by members of the Myriad. After Temple was very brazen enough to go diving down and like stomping on one of the assailants, and you all very courageously diving out onto the rooftop down to the alleyway, you managed to kill all but one of the Myriad members, ensuring Joga's survival. After which, several of you interrogated the surviving Myriad member, who may or may not have soiled himself, but he did give you some very valuable information about the Myriad caravan as they travel throughout Tal'Dorei. Upon finishing with the encounter and realizing that Tsuri, the dwarven individual who actually runs the tavern that you're staying at, is apparently the individual who is known as the speaker, the one who speaks for the caravan of the Myriad and assigns the orders to all their members. You gathered your gear, some just leaving through the alleyway. Victorilas, you decided to nonchalantly waltz your way through the tavern itself, not giving a fuck that he may or may not have been aware of your understanding of his role within the Myriad. Before you all decided to head to the northwest, leaving Stilven and actually heading out into the deep forest, heading towards the swampland where you encountered the hydras a couple of days prior. You then set up camp after ensuring that no one was following you, under the thought process that perhaps going straight to the class's HQ after such an encounter may not be the best thing in case you were followed and lead people into even further danger. And that's where we reconvene at the moment. The sky has gotten quite dark. There's very little cloud cover. You've all taken your time to get yourselves set up. Talar and Temple decide that for the first few hours of the night that they're going to take watch to allow the two of you, Victorilas and Nethtari, to get as much rest as you possibly can. And as you, well, Nethtari, you managed to nod off without any issues. You hear the odd sounds of the rustling dice because I had them on my floor. No, you hear the sounds of the wildlife that are like the small critters that are making their way through the forest. You can hear some of the dire wolves and wolves off in the distance howling. Like all the wildlife within the forest. Nothing untoward seeming to approach you, and you manage to nod off peacefully. Victorilas.
Should I take a long rest?
Yes, you may. Victorilas, you settle down into your stance, which you normally take for your meditation. Being an elf, you don't need to. Hey, Breaker, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. I'm going to have to turn that off quickly, though, while we're doing this. Still learning. As you take your stance for your meditative state, you've managed to fall into your meditation, and everything seems to be going quite routine for you. However, as the time slowly passes through, you can feel your consciousness actually start to slip and then pull, as if something is dragging at your consciousness, trying to pull it further and further away from you, and the world around you actually goes very dark. Suddenly, as you kind of flutter your eyes open and look around, you're surrounded by a dark and like black and kind of grey mixed with white cloud fluid. You don't really recognize it. As you look around, you can see nothing but one of your companions in a tower kind of similar to yours. One lone tower set in the middle that seems to be a central point for the structure. A couple of figures that you don't recognize, one directly opposite you and then one adjacent to you on the right pillar. As you get up and look around, you see naught but this strange visage before you, almost like this platform you're on was built for this occasion.
Okay.
So, am I right in thinking I would not have achieved a long rest through the disruption?
I'll give you your long rest as well. Like you've gone through your meditative state, so you'll get your long rest. So full health, all spell slots and shit back as well.
Alrighty.
Can I tell us Victorilas over there?
You can, Nethtari, as you also come to consciousness and look around. Directly opposite you, there is a human male individual who's clad in what looks to be leather armor mixed with like bits of plate mail. Slowly comes to and kind of like pushes himself up and looks around, kind of groggily, not really sure of what's going on. And no, that's not how you spell join. And if you'll give us a few moments, Cora, as you come to consciousness, you manage to push yourself up in this strange and desolate location. A deep black grey visage around you and 3 individuals whom you've never seen before on pillars opposite and adjacent to you, and a location that you're just completely unfamiliar with.
Oh, this is strange. This is not where I fell asleep last night. I would like to. How far away are the other towers from me?
The other towers are 200 feet roughly.
I would like to take my time and cast as a ritual Find Familiar. I'd like to summon my most trusted ward and advisor, Sir Barkley.
Sir Barkley, of course. Which tab is that? There it is. Sorry, I can't. I need to actually find his token. Oh wait, I put him in next to your character, didn't I? Yes, I did. Sir Barkley, who you managed to, with your ritual, summon Sir Barkley, who, after your ritual complete, swoops down and just perches down onto your shoulder quite gently, and just glances over to you and looks around at this unfamiliar location that you've found yourself in at the moment. You do have control of Sir Barkley's token on Roll20.
Excellent. I would like to glance at my advisor, and would you mind if I borrowed you for surveillance?
Sir Barkley just slowly closes his eyes and gives you a very slow nod before very gently hops off of you, extends his wing and flows out towards the center of the structure that you found yourself in.
Okay, I'd like to have Sir Barkley take flight, and I would like to chance to surveil with a perception check, possibly.
Go right ahead and do so. Now,
Alright.
For watchers and other players' sake, Serox here, Kayla, she's unable to make her character sheet in D&D Beyond. There's some things that are behind a paywall, unfortunately. So what I've done is I've allowed her to make the character sheet in Roll20. However, as per our agreement, she's going to be doing her rolls in the Avray bot, so that all the rolls are using the same dice system. So there's no chance of a different RNG just coming into play.
Yep. And with Sir Barkley, he has keen sight, so he has advantage on these perception checks.
Mm-hmm.
By borrowing his sight. So that will be...
You've got Barkley, yeah, +2, perfect. Wait,
Is
oh yeah, no,
wisdom?
+2 on his wisdom. Yeah, no, I thought I was looking at your perception there and I said +1, so yeah, no, I was just double checking. Cool, a natural 20, an unnatural 20. Sorry. As Sir Barkley kind of flows around the structure, I'm assuming you're going to be using your connection to see what he sees, yeah?
Yes,
Yes.
I'll be taking a seat on the stone floor as I am
Cool.
surveying.
As he flows through, just gliding along, this structure seems to be the only thing that exists in this area at the moment. As he casts his vision afield, there is nothing but this strange dark grey matter that is just extends as far as the eye can see. He swoops around past the 3 other pillars. You manage to catch sight on what looks to be a potential half-elf individual. Actually, can you go ahead and roll me a nature check, please?
Alright, I can do that.
I'm actually going to pop your character sheet out so that I have it here on hand. +3.
Hey Vic, did we get kidnapped again?
Yeah, I was going to say this seems strangely familiar.
5. Yeah, the first individual that you've seen that's to your far north, it just kind of looks like a strange, albeit slightly hairy, half-elf, from what you can gather. You watch as Barclay flies over to your far west, and you catch sight of what is quite obviously an elf of some kind. Flowing black hair and kind of a little darker complexion than what you're used to seeing, like adorned on elves, but an elf nonetheless. And to your far south is just a human individual, strong, well built, with short dark hair, who draws a short sword and readies his shield, just glancing around at this strange location that he's been brought to. All of a sudden, there is a deep grumble coming from all around. And then there's a voice.
Welcome to my humble abode. Around you, you can see several individuals. Some whom you know, some you don't. What matters is what you do now. I want to see which of you has the strongest will. The will to live. Behind you is an obelisk. This obelisk is your soul. Die, or lose your soul to another combatant, and I will cast you into the abyss before you. Survive, and I may bestow great power upon you.
You all look around. This voice from the nothing. The humans. I don't want to be here. Who are you people?
Oh, great.
Ask
Like
you the
a
same
rat in
question.
a cage.
Nethtari, can you see Tilar and Temple anywhere?
Nope. As you shoot me, I think.
Okay.
And a couple of victims.
You see the humans, and I don't want to die, but
Oh, you're gonna go first.
no, I don't want to die, but I'm not killing anyone either. You can't make us do anything. And as he kind of like drops his sword and it just clatters to the ground, the voice rings out.
You will fight, or you will die.
So you don't have much choice. Hey, you could give me your obelix and I'll make it a quick death.
No, I'm not going to just stand aside and let you kill me. But there's absolutely nothing that's preventing us from, not fighting.
If you do not fight, then you simply die.
As that, you see a crack just kind of spiderweb its way through the human's obelisk. And you just hear him kind of grunt out in pain, kind of like looks down at himself. And as he glances up and around at you all, can all three of you give me perception checks, please? Make sure you actually see this. 15, 23, and a 7. Well, it'd be an 8 for you, Cora, since you're still with Sir Barclay.
Alright, fair enough.
So, as Sir Barclay swoops over, he does manage to just catch a glimpse of this. As the human's obelisk kind of spiderwebs and cracks, you can see the same kind of pattern just splinter and crack through his form, and kind of just looks around. It doesn't look to be in pain, just a look of shock. And then there's almost like a clap of thunder. The obelisk behind him just shatters and crumples to the ground. Oh God! His body shatters, fragments into lots of tiny little pieces as he is no more.
Oh well. I'd like to have a closer look at my obelisk. Can I give it a bit of a poke and wobble? Does it move?
As you turn around and give it a push, it is on a it's not floating, but the base of the obelisk actually comes. It's actually almost in two parts. There's a small pyramid at the bottom of it, which is placed into the ground. The obelisk itself is on a needle point as it sits onto this base and is just suspended there, like tip to tip, essentially, from the base to the physical structure of the obelisk. And as you give it a push, like, no matter how hard you try, it just doesn't move. But as you kind of glance into it, you see a reflection of yourself, but the reflection is, it's not really a reflection. It's almost like a duplicate of yourself, kind of just there on the surface of the obelisk, just looking at you, kind of with a concerned look on his face.
What is this sorcery?
It's quite simple. It is your soul. Live, and you will clear it. Die, and it will be cast into my abyss as I see fit.
Kind of expected my soul to look a bit darker than this.
So what are you guys doing?
I would like to call Sir Barkley back to myself
Mm-hmm.
and break the connection between him and I.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any kind of... Are we just on the top of these towers, as it were? Are there any
That is correct,
stairway?
yes. So there's the top of the towers. You'll see the paths that are to you can't see that that are to the top, bottom, and moving in towards the center of the structure. There is a ladder at each point, looking down. But as you kind of look around and glance, you can see that the only safety that you have that would prevent you from plummeting into this abyss are the walls that are going around the perimeter of the entire structure, the kind of barrier around your tower, and the central structure itself. Anything else is completely exposed, and the slightest wrong move would send you plummeting into the abyss below.
Okay. I would like to spend a spell slot to cast Mage Armor on myself.
Yep, go right ahead and do so. Your AC becomes 13 plus your Dex and Intelligence modifier, right?
Yep.
Where's your spells for Mage Armor? Let me just double check this. Oh no, the target's base AC becomes 13 plus his Dex modifier. No, it doesn't include your Intelligence modifier. That is fine.
No, I wish.
So your AC is now that. Cool. Good to know. As you...
And,
Yep, sorry, on you go.
I believe I'm going to look at Sir Barkley, give him a bit of a questioning look before attempting to climb down one of the ladders. I'll climb down to the one towards the central structure.
Okay, you have full control of your token, so you can do so as you see fit. As you take your first step over the barrier and begin to descend to the ladder.
Good. Now, for my amusement, fight.
Now, I would like all three of you to roll initiative, please.
Sweet.
And I'm going to need a new initiative tracker open because this is not a typical thing. So, Vic, you rolled an initiative of 16. Cool. Neth.
Barkley also rolls his own initiative.
Yes, that he does. That's a 21. Is that for you or Barkley?
That would be for myself.
That's for yourself.
His initiative is higher than mine.
Cool. You rolled that. And for Sir Barkley, and I actually have to type that out properly. 19. Cool. Right. And sort. Right. Cool. So we are in initiative. This is a fight to the death. Starting off at the top of the round. Cora, you're up.
All right. I would like to see. I assume I'm still making my way towards the center of the location. I would like to hold. I'm going to hold my action for in case anyone lashes out at myself or Sir Barkley. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and that'd be 30 feet, and I end.
Cool. So you're taking the ready action, preparing yourself for if someone tries to attack you, right?
Myself
Cool.
or Sir Barkley, yes.
Cool. And that'll move on to Sir Barkley's turn in initiative. Now, I don't have Barkley's stat block. You didn't actually send that to me.
I have a stat block.
Would you be able to send that to me?
I shall send.
Thank you. You don't need to do that just now, but if you could get that to me ASAP, that would be great.
Okay, excellent. So, I assume Sir Barkley is going to keep near Cora, of course. He has a flight speed of 60 feet. I believe he'll also be at the ready until she commands him to lash out to do so.
Okay, so he's also going to take the ready action. Cool. With that will move on to Nethtari. It is your turn in initiative.
Fancy your chances, do you? I'd also like to climb down.
Yeah, go right.
Could I turn my actually, I might be safer up here. I might just create a couple of big brown bears.
So you're going to summon conjure animals, yeah.
At 4th level.
Fourth level. Wait, third or fourth? Sorry.
3rd level. I can do it. 3rd level.
Third level. Cool. And what are you summoning?
Many large brown bears as possible.
Brown bears, and believe they're challenge rating 1/2. Oh no, they're challenge rating 1. So you can summon 2 brown bears. Give me one moment. I did have these as tokens somewhere, I'm pretty sure. No, I did not. Cool. Right. Brown. I can't type. There we go. Brown bear. Can I drop these in? I sincerely hope I can. Come on, don't. This is the thing I hate about Roll20 at times. It doesn't. No, it's trying to get me to purchase the asset there. There we go. Can I drag that one in? Yes, there I can. Cool. So I'm going to copy and paste these in for you just now, Nethtari, and give you control of each and every one of them. Oh wait, no, it was only 2, wasn't it? Yeah, 2 beasts of challenge rating. 1. Yes, I noticed. Right, so controlled by you, save, and controlled by you, save. I did have these tokens about, but I guess not. But yeah, you can conjure them and put them anywhere in range that you can see, so place them as you see fit. That was conjure animals as your action, so you do have your movement and your bonus action left.
Hey, I find some pets too. I was thinking I could turn myself into a bird. Would that break the concentration? Using my
Let me double check here. I believe it is concentration for your wild shape. Wild shape. It's a feat. You can use your action to magically assume the shape of a beast that you've seen before, so you cannot wild shape this turn. But you would be able to. And you're at 11th level, so yes, you would be able to take the form of such things like as a giant eagle, but and not on this turn, I'm afraid.
Have I any movement left?
I haven't moved yet. You've got 30 feet of movement. You would take your 15 feet to climb down the ladder. It's a 15-foot drop down.
15 foot. I'm gonna scoot around the back of this woods a bit.
Okay. So 15 feet. Where are you moving to? Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yep, cool. Go for it. And you have your bonus action.
should those bears be a bit bigger?
Yes, they should. Give me one moment. Oh wait, no, that's not right.
Or is that?
That's all the same thing. There we go. So I'm going to move this one back a little bit there. So there you go. You've got bears, but because they're large beasts. But no, it's all just one interconnection.
Pass for now.
Cool. Victorilas, it is now your turn in initiative.
Okay. Let's have a little looky here. I'm gonna scoot over to the ladder on this side and down it.
Okay. And that would be your full movement.
My full movement?
Yep.
What, there? Or against the wall?
Yeah, up against the wall.
No problemo. Let's have a quick look.
See, I need to get the rhythm bot in here with some decent music for a battle scene, but there's just nothing decent I've actually found as I've been going around.
I'm going to use my action to dash
Okay, another 30 feet.
to there. And then I'm going to end my turn there.
Okay. At the end of your turn, right, you finish your dash. You can see Nethtari off in the distance, kind of looking your way, kind of unsure of the entire situation that is going on. And then the voice kind of rings out from the ether again.
Good. I want to see some action. Let's make this interesting.
At that, there is a large crackle of lightning energy that just emits from the three obelisks from each of your soul obelisks, just for a few moments before it just kind of dies down. But as you look, you can see there's a crackle of static energy that just emits from these from the obelisks. With that, we move back up to Cora.
All right. I see that the gentleman across adjacent to me has summoned rather large creatures. Sir Barkley, do you fancy your chances?
Sir Barclay just holding position just to your top right, just glances down and has a confident look. A look that you've seen many times before in your travels.
Excellent. And you said the gentleman adjacent from me, from my best estimates, would be Elvish?
From what you can guess, half-elf, maybe?
Okay. At least in some elven descent.
Of some elven descent, from what you can ascertain.
Okay. I speak out in Elvish that, I'm really, really sorry I have to do this, but I really don't need to die today. And I'd like to cast my first offensive spell.
And what would that be?
Let's see, what do I want? Let's go with... Let's see, is it one word or two? Is it one word or two? I would like to cast Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, lightning bolt, of course. And there we are. Glass instantaneous, yeah, that's no problem. Stroke of lightning forming in a line 100 feet long and 5 feet wide blasts out from you in a direction you choose. Each creature in the line must make a dex saving throw. Creature takes 8d6 lightning damage on a failed save or half as much damage on a successful one. The lightning ignites flammable objects in the area that aren't being worn or carried. Higher levels, when you cast this spell of a slot of 4th level or higher, the damage increases by 1d6 for each slot above 3rd. What level are you casting this spell at?
We'll keep it at 3rd for right now.
At 3rd, no problem. So 8d6 damage. If you could go ahead and roll that for me, Kayla, and with the ruler, could you point out the direction that you're going to be casting this spell?
We'll probably go at diagonal here. So, probably be about... Hang on, let me zoom out so I can properly assess 100 feet.
100 feet's like out to there.
Hey, yeah, that works. We'll go over there.
So go for there, yeah?
Yep.
Cool. So with that, one of the bears and Nethtari, you'll need to roll a dex save. And what's the DC of your spell save? Is that 15 at the moment?
15, yes.
15, cool. So Nethtari, I would need you to roll a dex save for yourself, and a dex save for your brown bear. So yeah, you don't take it. You're going to take the full 8d6 of damage. And did that automatically roll the damage? No, it didn't. Cool. So you're going to take that, and the dex save of your brown bear, which is in the monster. Reaction to cast absorb elements. You may if you'd like to.
The damage is first. Let's cast it at 4th level, I think.
4th level. Okay, casting it 4th level, so it's you have resistance to the triggering damage type until the start of your next turn. Also, the first time you're hit with a melee attack in your next turn. Okay, cool. That's no problem. You can use your reaction for that. And your brown bear is it's in the monster manual here. Dex 0. So just roll a flat d20 for your brown bear, please. 14, it does not save. So, Cora, could you go ahead and roll your 8d6 of lightning damage, please? Perfect. 35. So your brown bear, yeah, your brown bear gets fucking incinerated by this bolt of lightning that streaks through it. You, on the other hand, only take 17 points of lightning damage, as you're not able to dodge out of the way in time, but you are able to quickly cast your absorb element, and the shock is lessened, but you still take a heavy brunt of damage.
Ow! Could have bloody warned me.
I did.
Anything else you'd like to do on your turn, Cora? Lightning bolt was an action to cast, correct?
Yes, it is.
It is an action. Now, house rule. Not sure if I've made you aware. I thought I did, but I'm just going to go over it again just in case.
Mm-hmm.
House rule for casting in my games: if you have a spell that takes up a spell slot, but its cast time is a bonus action, you may cast that on top of a spell that takes an action to cast. So you can cast more spells at the expense of using a lot more spell slots during combat. So it will come down to like whether you want to use your bonus action and expend another spell slot on your turn to cast something else, or save spell slots for that you might need in the future. So if you have something that casts it as a bonus action, you may go ahead and do so.
I will maintain my position, and I think I'll be okay. So I will pass turn.
Okay, and that moves on to Sir Barkley.
All right. Sir Barkley is going to maintain position with me until anything comes closer, because he doesn't want anything getting too close to me. So.
Okay. Just holding his action, yeah?
Ready. Yes.
Okay, no problem. With that, we'll move on to Nethtari. It's your turn in initiative.
Okay, can I move my bear first?
As we've agreed upon in the past, your bear that has a movement speed of 40 feet and a climbing speed of 30 will move on your same initiative, so it kind of shortens shit down. So you can move your bear if you'd like to.
Get it, boy. Just want the bear to go charging I don't know her name.
You don't know her name, towards her, the individual, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 feet will get the bear there.
That's good. And I want to bob around the back of the... Is this a wall? This tower in the middle?
The tower in the middle is a wall. As you glance over it, the pathway that you can see that's on the north, west, south, and eastern side has a small doorway at the base. It will take your full action to squeeze through it because it is a really small doorway, but it would give you access to the inside of the tower, up the stairwell, and into this elevated roof area.
Before I do that, I'm going to try and get down to the south tower. Would move as far as possible.
Okay, so using your dash.
Yep, use my dash to get.
You'd be able to get to the bottom of the tower, but you will not be able to climb it because it's 15 feet to climb the ladder. So you won't be able to climb it this turn, but next turn you'll be able to get up there.
Okay.
Is that you?
Oh, my bonus action to beast hide shift.
Okay, no problem. So with your shifting, where is it, racial? You gain your 20 temporary hit points and a temporary +1 to your AC. Okay, with that, Victorilas, it's now your turn in initiative.
Cool. I'm gonna think
You better not be going for my crystal.
just an experiment. Don't you worry, Nethtari. So I'm gonna do a little Naruto run down the side of this platform to there.
You go doing your arms out behind you and everything as you sprint.
With my cloak trailing in the wind.
Weeb, god damn it.
So that was there. Oh,
One more. Yep.
Do I want to do that? I'm gonna end my turn there.
No problem. With that, there's the rumble from all around.
Crusaders lock on today.
And let's see. 3. So I'll see. Cool. North. And let me take a look here. Yeah, and yeah, cool. Both in range. Right. So D4. Let's see who hits this. 4. Cool. Cora, I'd like you to roll me a dex save, please.
Certainly.
Certainly. So +1. Ooh, okay, yeah, no problem. 12, 18, 19, 20. Jesus Christ, these die hit me. 26. You take 13 points of lightning damage as as you glance up towards the obelisk that the half-elven individual had dropped down from and rushed away from you from. As you watch the brown bear kind of streak towards you, there's a loud crash as the building static energy from the obelisk streaks out towards you as a lightning strike comes down towards you. You manage to duck out the way, so the energy just rippling across the floor and just catching you in your feet. Your feet feel numb, but you manage to shake off the brunt of it.
Oh god, that's what that feels like.
Doesn't it? Wonder if I did that.
With that, we move on to Cora's turn in initiative.
Alright. I still have this very scary bear in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
How scary is the bear?
Very.
It's a very scary brown bear.
Alright, let's see.
Once to intimidate some people and they just ran away from my bears.
There was one time where you tried to intimidate someone with your brown bear and it just sat down with its little round fluffy ears and just looked at them with a cocked head and just did not work in the slightest.
Bad
Actually.
pull.
So many choices. So many damn choices.
Mm-hmm.
Can we roll an intimidation check?
Nope.
Go.
I've stared down bears before. Let's see. Alright, so what I'd like to do is I would like to cast Ray of Frost.
Okay, a frigid beam of blue-white light streaks towards creature within range. Make a ranged spell attack against the target. On a hit, it takes 1d8 cold damage, and its speed is reduced by 10 feet until the start of your next turn. What level are you casting Ray of Frost at?
Ray of Frost is a cantrip, sir.
Is it a cantrip? Oh yes, so it is. I misread that. My apologies. So yes, go right ahead and there's what I'm looking for. So it's 3d8 damage because it increases by 1d8 when you reach 5th, 11th, and 17th level. So 3d8 of cold damage. That is a 14. Yeah?
Does it hit?
You didn't specify a target. The brown bear?
Oh, I was saying the bear, of course.
Oh, of course. The brown bear,
Scary.
14. Yes,
got
that
it.
will hit. To go ahead and roll your 3d8 of cold damage.
Gotta make the scary bear go away.
That's 15 points of cold damage to the scurry bear, which is now slowed as the streak of white-blue light just it kind of rears up on its hind legs, trying to impose like an intimidating, like almost like it's trying to impose its presence upon you, and the light just streaks out and collides with its chest. The energy is just rippling down to its limbs and just drops down and looks up to you. Kind of, it looks angry, but it looks hurt at the same time as the cold energy just flows across its fur down to all of its limbs. Now, Ray of Frost, that is a one action, so you still have your bonus action and your movement.
I use my bonus action to feel sorry for the bear.
Just looks up to you like puppy dog eyes.
I'm sorry, but you look like you need to eat me. That's my turn.
That's your turn. That moves on to Sir Barclay. Is he just going to stay back and protect?
Yeah, he's gonna stay back and protect.
He watch, but he also protect.
Seems like, yeah, he shall protect. He shall protect the small.
Problem. Taking another ready action. Nethtari. It's your turn in initiative.
I'd like to climb the ladder.
Yep, 15 feet of movement.
And then try to loot this dead guy.
As you get up to the top, as you increase over break the horizon over the barrier and look down, you see that his body, once it had shattered and dropped and you lost sight of it, is gone. The obelisk, after it cracked and shattered, the main portion of the body that shattered, it's also gone. It's just the teal-looking, teal-coloured base plate that's there in the centre of the tower, and there's no energy or anything coming from it.
Does it look valuable?
Go ahead and roll me in. What would this be actually? Go ahead and roll me an investigation check. 15. It looks very valuable and also looks very stuck into the tower. Like, it might be impossible for you to move this.
Okay.
Might.
Fine. Go on, then I'll try size it up with.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a strength check as you walk over to it, kind of reach down, my arms around the base, and just give a. Okay, you're fine. As you kind of just heave with all of your might, you just fart a little as you overexert yourself and look around. Okay, nobody heard that, but it doesn't budge. Okay, you'll have your bonus action. That would have been your action to attempt to do that.
Bonus action. I'll shillelagh my quarterstaff.
Okay. Shillelagh your quarterstaff. That changes it to a 1d8 plus 2 magical bludgeoning weapon for 1 minute. Cool. With that, Victorilas, it's your turn in initiative.
Okay, I'm gonna use some normal movement to get up to the side of this tower.
Mm-hmm.
I am then going to use dash to climb it.
Okay. So you've got another 30 feet. 5 and then 15 to climb, so that'd be 20 feet to get up to the top of the tower.
25, 30 feet there.
Just double checking something here. No, you don't have it. Cool. Yep, you could absolutely do that.
So from here, am I in an elevated position in respect of the pathways that are
In respect to the pathways that are, so I'll point it out from the center point here. These pathways here that do not have walls on them, they are all at a lower elevation than what you are at, on top of that tower, including the perimeter of the circular central tower.
Okay, I'm going to use my bonus action to Hunter's Mark this stranger.
Okay. Hunter's Mark therein.
And I'm going to end my turn.
Okay. With that, Victorilas. No, Daka, you didn't miss anything. After your turn, Victorilas has moved up to your tower, has not hit your obelisk at all. Has Hunter's marked the stranger who is you are in combat with, and that's it so far. As you once you get to the top of the tower of Victorilas, you kind of hear the voice. You hear the voice. All of you can hear it, but Victorilas, it almost sounds like this voice is directly behind you.
You will fight. If you refuse, you will die.
At that, you can see that there is another grumble of thunder just kind of emanates all around you. And Victorilas, as you kind of glance around, hearing this voice almost directly behind you, you look over your shoulder to Nethtari's obelisk, and you can see that there looks to be a swirl of red, bright and very hot energy just flowing up from the base up to the tip of the main structure of the obelisk. With that, move back to Cora. It's your turn in initiative.
Alright, so still have the bear being scary.
The bird is still being scary.
Yeah. Alright, let's see what I'd like to do here. Oh, I don't think this is actually in the Operate bot, but I picked it up from D&D Beyond.
It should be there then in the Afribot.
I would like to Alright, how would you like to rule this? I believe with a familiar, it can deliver a touch range spell for me.
For find familiar, give me one moment because I can actually take a look at this. My character
There you
is going
go.
to go here. Find familiar. Perfect, thank you. You gain a service familiar spirit. The familiar can act independently of you, but always obeys your commands. In combat, it rolls on initiative and acts on its turn. The familiar can't attack, but it can take other actions as normal. While your familiar is within 100 feet, you can communicate with it. As an action, you can temporarily dismiss your familiar. You can have more than one familiar at a time. If you cast a spell while you're already familiar, you instead cause it to adopt a new form. Just one of the forms. Your familiar. Okay, hold on. There you go. Finally, when you cast with a spell of a range of touch, your familiar can deliver the spell as if it had cast the spell. Your familiar must be within 100 feet of you, and it must use its reaction to deliver the spell when you cast it. If the spell requires an attack roll, you use your attack modifier for the roll. So yeah, you would cast the spell. So you would essentially what would happen is you would cast the spell, and that energy would be transferred over to Sir Barclay. Sir Barclay would then be able to swoop down on a target, and then, like, almost like raking a target with his talons. That would then cast the spell on his turn, like, because you've charged the spell at touch range to him,
I
and you
gave
then
him
just
the
transfer.
payload, and he hence delivers the payload.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's try it with. I believe this one is a rave. It's. Oh, and it doesn't show up because it's only in D&D Beyond. Right.
Only results from the 5e SRD are included. So what are you looking up on Beyond?
It'd be the spell Frostbite.
That didn't work. Frostbite. Spell Frostbite. Here we go. You cause numbing. It didn't pop up. You cause numbing frost to form on one creature that you can see within range. The target must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, the target takes 1d6 cold damage. And has disadvantage on the next weapon attack roll it makes before the end of its turn. Spell increases by 1d6 when you reach 5th, 11th, and 17th level. So it's 3d6 cantrip for at 60 feet. Yeah. What are you targeting? You targeting the burr?
Yep, targeting the bear again.
Cool. So the burr needs to make a Constitution saving throw. So the burr needs to roll a d20, please, Nethtari. Sorry, a d20 plus 3. D20 plus 3.
DC's a 15.
15. So it fails. So that would be 3d6 of cold damage.
And he also gets disadvantage on his next
Yep.
attack.
So 9 damage. And what did you do damage-wise before that? 15. 15 and 9 is 24. Cool, good to know. And it has disadvantage on its next attack. So we will impose this one on it. Cool.
That's all I'm gonna do right now.
Okay.
And then for Sir Barkley, we'll have him try to pick on the bear a little bit.
Okay. So you're having Barclay. What are you having Barclay do?
He's gonna swoop down and try to beak it.
Now, you remember your Find Familiar can't attack.
Yeah, he can. Can he?
I'm pretty sure, like, just reading it. Let's scroll back up here.
If not, that's fine as well.
Yeah, your familiar acts independently of you, but always obeys your command. In combat, it rolls its own initiative and acts on its own turn. A familiar can't attack, but it can take other actions as normal. So a familiar,
Alright,
unfortunately, cannot attack.
That's fine. Then he'll just hang out here.
Okay, cool. With that, it's going to move on to Nethtari. Your turn in initiative.
Okay, I shall move to
The corner of the tower there. Yep.
and cast 6th level Sunbeam.
6th level Sunbeam. Where are we? Sunbeam. It's a beam of brilliant light flashes out from your hand in a 5 foot wide, 60 foot long line. Each creature in the line must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes 6d8 radiant damage and is blinded until your next turn. On a successful save, it takes half as much damage and isn't blinded by the spell. Undead and oozes have disadvantage on the saving throw. You can create a new line of radiance as your action on any turn until the spell ends. For the duration, a mote of brilliant radiance shines in your hand. It sheds bright light in 30-foot radius and dim light for another additional 30 feet. The light is sunlight. Cool. Please use your ruler to... Right, so where are you firing this beam off to?
Yes.
You're just doing that to the other individual.
Try and get both of them if possible. Will it quite go?
Let's take a look here. Yeah, at that. So it would be like that. Yeah, there. That would hit both of them. It's just clipping the box that Barclay is in. So yeah, it would hit.
How high Barclay is, I guess. Is he how high?
It's 5 foot wide and 60 foot long. Actually, no, it wouldn't hit Barclay. Barclay is like up above Cora at the moment, flying above.
Yeah, no, so yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So because you're above, you'd be streaking down towards this location. So you wouldn't be able to hit Barclay as well, I'm afraid. It would just be the other individual, whose name you still don't know. So for that, Cora, I need you to roll a Constitution save, please.
All right, let's see what the damage is.
Mm, 21. That's a save. So please roll 6d8 of radiant damage, please, Nethtari. This will be halved. 36. Ouch! That's 18 points of radiant damage to you, Cora. You are not blinded, however, as you kind of glance up to the half-elf who just extends his hand out to you in a beam of light. Like you just see the glimmer build up in his hand, and you're quickly able to avert your gaze, raise one of your hands. You feel the radiance just burn through to your core. Doesn't do anything physically to your body, but you can feel it just like right in the feels. It hurts.
I clear up. I know where he is now.
I think we're even now.
Okay, so
Let's see.
Nethtari, that was a one. Oh no, that's it is an action and it is a concentration up to a minute. So I'm
Does that
going
mean the concentration on my bear spell means the bear disappears now?
Because conjure animals is a concentration spell. So yes, your burr fades into the ether.
Well, perhaps should have done something with the bear before I did the.
Rip.
And I'm going to cower down behind this wall so I can't be seen.
Okay. It's only a couple of feet, but yeah, no, cowering down behind it, you'd be able to get you 3/4 cover. Okay. With that, Victorilas, it's your turn in initiative.
Okay, I'm going to use 10 feet of movement to move to here.
Okay.
I'm going to knock an arrow, and I'm going to fire at the stranger.
Okay, go ahead and roll. You have advantage.
And as I do so, I'm going to say, it's nothing personal, he's a friend from work.
I'd like to use my reaction to shield.
To shield. That's the... Here we go. Invisible barrier magic force appears and protects you until the start of your next turn. You have a +5 bonus to your AC, including against the triggering attack, and you take no damage from a magic missile. That's a reaction. Yeah,
Yes.
no problem.
Yeet.
So that is a +5 to your initiative. Your AC. You still have advantage on the attack from the high ground, Victorilas.
Firing. 20
26. That still hits for 8 points of piercing damage. Go ahead and roll your d6 of Hunter's Mark. That's another 6 points, so that's 14 points of damage, and your d8 Colossus Slayer for 1. So 8 plus 7, 15 points of piercing damage to you, Cora.
Would I have been visible to the target from where I am?
Yes, the Cora is aware of. There's only the 3 of you in this fight now. She's fully aware of where you are in this fight. So no sneak attack, unfortunately.
That's okay. I'll fire another arrow.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm getting fucked up.
Yeah.
I said, sorry. I just, he's a friend. You're not, and you shot his bears, so.
That's 28 to hit, so that'll hit for 13 points, and go ahead and roll your d6 of Hunter's Mark. Plus a 6, that's 19 in total. How are you looking, Cora?
I'm thoroughly fucked.
Because your character sheet's not updating for me. So.
Oh, sorry. I'm subtracting as the encounter's going. Don't worry.
Okay, cool. As long as you keep it up to date.
I'm subtracting after all the Colossus Slayer nonsense goes away too.
Oh no, that's just his feat as a ranger.
Oh, I'm aware.
Okay, cool.
Does that only happen once per turn, or is it once per attack?
It's once per round.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, I was waiting for the Colossus Slayer to.
Oh no, it's just once per round.
Here, I will update DM and let you know how fucked I am.
Yeah, go ahead, so I can see this.
I am this fucked.
Okay, that's good to know.
I miss armor so fucking bad right now.
Yeah, wizards. Anyway, right. With that.
Okay, and I would like to then use my bonus action to use Slip into Shadow, and from up here I'm going to crouch down, put my cloak up, and try to make it look like I've basically just disappeared up on this tower.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a stealth check, please. 27. Yeah, and as Cora, as the these 2 arrows just strike you, one in the chest, one in the like close to your left shoulder. You just you take the shaft and just snap them, and just drop them off the edge into the abyss below you. And as you glance up, you just see this shadowy figure just take a step back and vanish. You have no idea where the assailant has gone to.
That's okay. I know where one is.
Good. You're beginning to fight. I like that. And the question begs, are you still lucky?
Let's see who's lucky and who's not. Okay, that's there. Yep. No. Good to know. Right.
Oh, thank Christ.
I keep forgetting that you guys can actually see that. Well, because on
there's a new option that says hide from others.
No. It's not that. It's because I've got my screen as a player on the other side. It doesn't show, like when I'm doing something on the DM screen. It doesn't show up on my player side, so I don't see I don't see another arrow, a ruler point up on my second screen. Okay. And Nethtari, can you go ahead and roll me a dex save, please? Two.
I take it that failed.
Yeah, just a little bit. Where am I going here for this? It's not here on my thing, but if I go here, I should have it here. There it is. Cool. So that is, where's the damage? Come on. Yeah, there it is. Cool. Right. 3, 5, 10, 12, 17, 20, 5, 30 points of fire damage as you kind of like poke your head up over the barrier to look at the damage that Victorilas has dealt to the newcomer. You see like the area around you kind of begin to light up in a strange orange color, and as you look around, there's just a large ball of fire that just shoots out from Victorilas's obelisk, careening down towards you, taking 35 points of fire damage. As 35 points of fire damage as the fireball explodes, and you're just engulfed in flames.
Still burning her.
Okay. With that, we move back up to Cora. It's your turn in initiative.
Alright, so I have one location of who nuked me last.
You have an idea as it was in this general vicinity, but you cannot see.
No. I'm not talking over here. I'm talking.
Oh, you're talking
south.
here. Here, the sunbeam.
Was basically a nuke, wasn't it?
Kind of.
It was a holy nuke. I would like to. I believe it's within 90 feet. I can do this. Yeah, he's in range. I'd like to point up to the top of the tower there and cast Conjure Elemental. That means Sir Barkley is going to disperse.
Okay. You call forth an elemental servant, choosing the area of air, earth, fire, or water. Fills a 10-foot cube within range. An elemental of challenge rating 5 or lower, appropriate to the area you choose, appears in an unoccupied space within 10 feet of it. For example, a fire elemental emerges from a bonfire. An earth elemental rises up from the ground. An elemental disappears when it drops to 0 hit points or when the spell ends. The elemental is friendly to you and your companions for the duration. Roll initiative for the elemental, which has its own turn. We'll just do it on your own turn to make combat a lot smoother. It obeys any verbal commands that you issue to it, no action required by you. If you don't issue any commands to the elemental, it defends itself from hostile creatures but otherwise takes no actions. If your concentration is broken, the elemental doesn't disappear. Instead, you lose control of the elemental. It becomes hostile towards you and your companions, and it might attack. An uncontrolled elemental can't be dismissed by you, and it disappears 1 hour after you summon it. The GM has elemental statistics. Sample elementals can be found below. So what I'm going to do is it's a challenge rating 5 for an elemental, right?
Yes.
That would be in this pile, I believe. No, it wouldn't be in that pile. It would be in this one here, because I actually have monster cards. So,
Monster cards.
Yay, monster cards. So what elemental are you? It'd be a ground elemental, right?
No, actually, I want air elemental because there's air all around us.
You assume there's air all around you.
I'm breathing, right?
Yeah, but you like.
You think that's air you're breathing now?
I hope so.
Right, where the fuck are the elemental cards? There it goes. Oh wait, no, that's just earth elemental. Where the fuck's the air elemental? Oh, I bet you any money I didn't pick them all up. And the air elemental will be up there in this little pile. Look, yeah, there's a bunch of them that have been kind of knocked back. That's an Aarakocra. Bastard. Where the fuck are the elementals at? Where the fuck are the elemental cards?
I'll just Google it.
I'll just
pop it up in the compendium.
That works too.
I want to use my monster cards. Damn it.
Next time.
E for elemental. That's giant. Gone past it. G, F, E, Imperial. Where the fuck are the elementals in the monster manual? Damn it.
I assume they'd be under E.
No, it's actually under A for air elemental, apparently. 124. 124. I was close to it. 124. There we go. Air elementals. Cool. Right. So now let's see here. I was not expecting this in the slightest. Air elemental.
My mom always told me to make friends. God damn it, I made them.
Quite literally made one.
No, that's in the School of Necromancy. We don't do that.
Alright, cool. I'm gonna grab this one here. Right, so it fills up a 10-foot space, and you were just putting it just like here,
Yeah, somewhere
like
on top of the tower. Yeah,
on top of the
somewhere
tower.
on
So pop it down there, and for the time being, you have control of the air elemental.
Okay. I would tell this air elemental in primordial. Defend me. By order of House Ramiel.
Okay. With
that means
that,
Sir Barkley goes away though.
yeah,
Because he's concentration as well.
Sir Barclay's concentration disappears as well, unfortunately. Alright, let's take a look at the air elemental here. Alright, cool. So you're just asking it to defend you, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Seeing as it did not see an attack made against you, it's not going to do anything this turn.
That's fine.
That will then move on to Nethtari. It's currently your turn.
Do I not get it? Do I?
Oh wait. Summon.
Yeah, I have one extra thing. It's only a bonus action though.
Yeah, go right ahead. Sorry.
Let's see.
Jumping the gun here a little. My apologies.
No, you're fine. I'd like to Misty Step, please.
Yeah, Misty Step, 30 feet. Where are you going?
Is it 30 or is it 50?
I'm pretty sure it's 30 feet for Misty Step. Misty Step. Yep, briefly surrounded by silver mist, you teleport up to 30 feet in an unoccupied space that you can see.
Alright, cool. I will go back. Yeah, I'll... Let's see, where do I want to go? I'll pop 30 feet back towards under the tower.
Okay, you still have your movement.
And then I'll use my movement to climb up the ladder. That's
okay.
15, yeah?
15 feet, yep, that puts you there, yep.
Alright, and I will stay down there.
Okay.
Or up there, rather.
You stay up there and you're just ducking down, yeah?
Yep.
Cool. That's you at 3/4 cover as well. With that, move on to Nethtari. It's your turn in initiative.
Hello, I'm Nethtari. What the heck are you?
Just howls and wind.
It's like a living tornado is just kind of apparated behind you, but has some kind of it has some kind of physical form that you can see. Like it has a body, it has a head. You can see like kind of small lightning strikes of globes which would resemble its eyes just appeared before you.
Are you alive? Or are you a giant fart?
We've had some nights intense with Nethtari like that.
I'd like to try sniff the air, if that's possible.
Yeah, you reach forward and it doesn't smell of anything because it's air.
Okay, well, I'd like to smack it with my quarterstaff to see what.
Okay. No problem. Go ahead and roll your attack.
Can I use the energy from that absorb element?
I need to double check here with absorb elements.
It's only on your next turn, I think.
Melee attack with my.
Yeah, on your next turn.
Only on your next turn you can't.
Yeah. Also, the first time you hit with a melee attack on your next turn, the target takes an extra 1d6 damage of the triggering type, and the spell ends. So unfortunately, because you didn't make a melee attack your last turn, and you cast your sunbeam, you don't get the elemental discharge. I'm afraid it's dissipated
so
already.
Try not to smack it, and I'll just try to sneak around it.
Okay.
Try and climb down the ladder back to the tower in the middle.
Okay, so if you do hop over the barrier and begin to climb down, it will get an attack of opportunity against you as you break its melee range.
Okay, it isn't talking to me or anything, though.
It's not. It's not talking to you. No, not in a language that you understand, anyway.
I don't know. Could I I'll hit it with a sunbeam then?
Okay.
Babe, it's gonna hit the air elemental with.
A sunbeam.
Yay! Doesn't it take 1 turn to charge though?
It's not.
Humor.
Yeah, it's not hyper beam. Let me double check something here for this.
Completely baffled by what is in front of me. I'm just. What are you?
Okay, cool. So that's a con save. Yeah, con save. Let me. What's that? Alright, hold on. I need to just quickly double check one other thing. Yeah, okay. I'll actually give you the option here, Kara, since you currently have control of the air elemental. You can roll it save, or I can. I'll give you the option.
I like bad decisions. Let me roll it.
All right, cool. That's a D20 plus 2 for the save. 17. That saves. Go ahead and roll your. Was it 8d6? 6d8, or all the way around. 6d8 of radiant damage, please, Nethtari, which will be halved. 27, so that'll be 14. Yeah, 14 points of radiant damage to the air elemental as you kind of you extend your hand out and the beam creases forward. The light actually breaking the elemental apart slightly, and then it just kind of the air kind of just like billows back together as it retakes form and just kind of glares down at you. You watch as the lightning strikes that course through his body, and you can actually see and almost see an expression of anger on its face.
Are you alive or not? I'm sure I was supposed to do something with an air elemental. Am I supposed to capture you? I shall have to look at my notebook later. Now, log off!
What are you doing? Anything else? You've got your bonus action and your movement.
I'll try to sneak past it, like I said before, and go down the ladders.
Alright, cool. It will get an attack of opportunity. So that'll be a D20 plus 8, please, Cora. That's a 17 to hit your armor class, Nethtari. That will miss. As you kind of hop over the railing and catch onto the ladder, you see this air elemental just raise its fist and just poof, the barrier that you've just hopped over. You see it splinter and fracture, and pieces of the rock just tumble down. Clatter off the floor and then disappear into the abyss below as you just narrowly avoid getting your head crushed by this air elemental.
Off, you big bag of wind.
So
get down the ladder away from it.
You are now down at the bottom of the ladder. Yes.
That's it.
Cool. With that, Victorilas, it's your turn in initiative.
Okay. one step towards the corner of this tower,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna shout, "Right, Nethtari, brace yourself. Not sure what's gonna happen here, but nothing personal." And I'm gonna take a shot at the obelisk with my bow and arrow.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your attack.
What are you doing?
Just testing a theory. It's a critical hit.
Okay, 16. Go ahead and roll me 2d6 for Hunter's Mark.
I haven't hunter's marked that.
Oh wait, no, yeah, you hadn't actually. So no, it would just be 2d8 then, please, for Colossus Slayer.
Has that
Hunter's,
taken damage then?
Hunter's Marks on Cora. 2d8 for Colossus Slayer, please.
Okay, you're the DM.
Nethtari, you take 27 points of damage as the arrow sinks into the obelisk, and Victorilas, you see a crack just spider line along, like a thread of web just cracks along. Nethtari, you take 27. 16 plus 11, 27. And Nethtari, you feel like a sharp pain deep in your core, like at your heart, and you just feel it just crease up through your body, up to your upper clavicle, down to your stomach, and it's just a sharp pain that just creases through you.
The noise of a wounded animal emanates from this card. It's like a scream crossed with a howl.
From where you are, Victorilas, you don't know what that's done.
I would hear the loud
You
screaming howl.
you hear the howl. Go ahead and roll me, because I'm being a cunt here. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check. Because there were howls that were just coming from the air elemental that was summoned. An 8. You're unsure? It's 50-50. That could have been the thing. That was like, because you saw the other individual do some kind of magic after her familiar disappeared. So she's done something, so it could have been what she's done. Could have been Nethtari. You're not sure.
Oh shit, whatever that was, it didn't sound good. I'm gonna take my second arrow and return to my original target.
Okay, go ahead and roll your attack. This is just a normal attack. And with a +4 to your AC, Cara.
Okay.
We're on the same level here, aren't we?
Yep,
So
with the same level and 3/4 cover. That's still a 28 to hit, which will hit.
Yeah, there's no way I'm blocking that.
So that's 6 points. Another D6 for Hunter's Mark. 7, and a no Colossus Slayer's already gone through. So yeah, so that's 7 points of piercing damage to you, Cora. As you kind of like, you kind of glance, you kind of like lift up to look over at the results of your air elemental, and then you just see a glint of light off to your right. You look over and you just watch as the elf that you'd seen earlier let loose an arrow towards you. You duck down and the arrow just skims over your right shoulder, just nicking you. Like, it's a deep cut into your shoulder, but thankfully it missed and the arrow just sailed off into the abyss behind you.
It nicked me, but I think you vastly overestimate just how fucked up I am.
Oh no, I'm fully aware of how fucked up you are. I am fully aware of how fucked up you are. Trust me. Anything else you'd like to do on your turn,
I'm just gonna try and maintain my my stealthiness as best I can and end my turn.
Okay. Cora, can you go ahead and roll me a Constitution save, please?
Are you saying for taking damage?
Yep.
Of whether or not the elemental saves?
Yeah. Well, whether you
Actually-
maintain control of it.
Actually, I have a thing. Let me
You
pull
have
it
a
up.
thing?
I do. It's referred to as. Let's see. Is it this one?
Yep. No, I see that. You're good.
Yeah.
Yep, I see that.
Looks
You're
fine.
good.
Yeah.
Yep. You're good. You're good. Ignore that. Right.
Excellent.
As you kind of draw another arrow from your quiver and knock it ready to continue, you all hear the voice echo out around you again.
Well done. I've not been this amused for a very long time. Now, let's see who's going to be next.
As you kind of Victorilas and Cora, as you guys look over at the obelisk, you can see a deep black energy just start to swirl around it from the base all the way up to the tip. Cora, it's your turn in initiative.
All right. Let's see. What am I gonna do? Let me see, because I'm trying to figure out what to do here. Because I have so many spells, so many decisions to make. Where's the stupid thing? And let's see. Range is 90 feet. Alright, I like bad decisions. Let's do this. This is another spell I believe I found on D&D Beyond. It is known as Thunderstep.
Thunderstep. I'm pretty sure I have that. No, that's Thunder Wave. Never mind. Yeah, that's not popping up, so I'm pretty sure it is Thunderstep. There we go. You teleport yourself to an unoccupied space you can see within range. Immediately after you disappear, a thunderous boom sounds, and each creature within 10 feet of the space you left must make a Constitution saving throw, taking 3d10 thunder damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one.
That's for if I'm leaving, so probably not.
So you're not going to do that?
No, because that's when I'm leaving.
Yeah, cool.
Need to find a way to get over to there. Alright, like I said, still like bad decisions. I'm casting Fly on myself.
Okay, cast Fly on yourself. I can't see your... hold on, I'm just going to shift you over because I can't see all of the tokens here for this.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cast Fly. There you are, you have wings.
Yep.
As you cast Fly on yourself, granting you flying speed of 60 feet for the duration.
Alright. Then do attempt to... Okay, 60 feet would put me over this black inky abyss.
Yep.
Let's see. Yeah, we'll fly me to about here. So... About here, you said? Yeah, about here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I'm going back to my air elemental friend. Is he pursuing,
That's up to you. You're the one that gives the commands.
I told him to defend me, and this guy tried to... he did sunbeam the air elemental, so I assume the air elemental will be in pursuit because he's trying to defend himself as well against hostile.
Well, in pursuant to what it says on the spell, it's only if you give it no action. Like, if you don't give it a command that it defends itself, whereas you gave it the command to defend you.
Alright.
But
I guess I could order it in the same primordial language
you can
to attack.
You can give it an order on your turn at the moment, and it would follow through with that order on when it goes through, like when you're giving it its action.
Okay. Well, I give it its action to pursue an attack.
Okay. The elemental kind of turns to you and then looks away, flows down. You actually feel the air like flow through you. Your cloak, your clothes, and all your equipment that's attached to you, Nethtari, kind of billows to ahead of you as the elemental now kind of phases into existence in front of you as it moves with the air, and it now strikes down against you. So, Cora, I would like you to make 2 attacks, d20 plus 8 for both, please.
All right.
Actually, you know what? I know I'm going to make this a lot easier. I'm going to do it. It's going to make it a lot quicker to do it this way. That would be a 19 on the first one, so that will hit. And that would be a 22 on the second attack. So both hit for 2d8 plus 5. Where are my d8s? Where's my d8? There it is. So that is 9 plus 5. That's 14 points of bludgeoning damage on the first attack. That's right. So 14 points of bludgeoning damage. The second one is 3, 8 plus 10, 13 points of bludgeoning damage from the second one.
I assume I can't use absorb elements on that sort of damage.
This is bludgeoning. It's not elemental, so no, I'm afraid not.
Ow. That hurt. Can't we come to some arrangement?
Okay. Anything else that you're wanting the... actually, hold on. Okay. I need you to give me a strength saving throw, please, Nethtari. This should have been done beforehand because I misread this. But I need you to give me a strength saving throw. Shit. Okay. 5. Fuck. 1, 2, 3. No, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you're flung backwards. You take... shit. 2, 6, 8, 18 plus 2. 20 points of bludgeoning damage as the whirlwind that is the air elemental, as it flows through you, flings you back into the tower wall.
I feel unconscious then.
You are unconscious.
Or dead even. 20 points? I'm clearly on 8.
You're on 8. So yeah, so massive damage. On 8, you would currently need to take 102 points of damage for it to kill you outright. So yeah, you're on death saving throws at the moment. So Victorilas is on death saving throws. Good to know.
Nethtari is on death saving throws.
Sorry, yeah, Victorilas. Nethtari is on death saving throws. My apologies.
I had to do a little poo then for a second.
Yeah, I was actually... Wait. Oh, you guys both have that much HP. Cool, that's good to know. I wasn't even aware of that. I was looking at the wrong character sheet. That's why. It's a good thing that you both have the same HP. So yes, Nethtari, you're on death saving throws. Cool. Nethtari, can you roll me a death saving throw?
May I still use my bonus action to Misty Step over into the tower?
Yeah, you know what? I'll let you do that. Go ahead.
Yeet.
Yeet.
I'll
Cool.
just yeet on over to the tower.
Yeet on over to the tower. Cool. Nethtari, go ahead and roll me a death saving throw. You do so much on your turn, Cora. It's like, I lose track of everything that you've done.
What price is that, by the way?
It's exclamation point S space death, I believe. There you go. That's a success for 17. Right, cool. Victorilas. It's your turn on initiative.
Well, hell.
Bear in mind here, you don't know what's really going on with Nethtari at the moment.
No, obviously you would have seen him scurry down the ladder in the
Yeah.
swirly thing from over there, but apart from that, I guess I don't really know what's going on. Well, even though I don't really know what else to do, I'm gonna continue to fire at my target.
Alright, go right ahead. It's a normal attack.
To hit.
25 to hit. Each armor is 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Yeah.
That'll hit for
Yeah,
11 points of piercing damage.
I can't even shield that, and I'm down.
Okay, Cora is unconscious. Cool. I will add this to you. You are unconscious on death saving throws. You no longer have your flight and are unconscious on death saving throws.
By the way, the air elemental is now rampaging rather.
Now free of your commands. Yes, it is.
Well, good luck, Wick.
So, because it's no longer in your command, I'm going to roll that. Cool. It's not going to get an extra turn in initiative because it's already gone because it rolled a 4 for its initiative. Anything else you'd like to do on your turn, Victorilas? You can no longer see any target.
Can't see anything past there.
Okay. Yeah, because Cora, well, the individual, she is unconscious on the deck behind, like, solid cover, so you physically cannot hit her, and the tower is blocking Nethtari and anything else that might be there. You're not sure.
In which case, I'm going to use 5, 10, 25, 30 movement to go down the ladder into the platform below. And I'm going to end my turn there.
Okay, cool. With that,
2 down. 1 left standing. But this is a fight to the death. You will not reign victorious until 1 is left standing. Perhaps 1 goes now. Let's find out.
Okay, cool. D6 of damage. Yes, cool. So, Victorilas, can you roll me a Constitution saving throw, please? Okay, yeah, no problem. 5, 6, 8, 10, 11, Jesus Christ, 17, 22, 28. You take 14 points of necrotic damage as the swirling black energy that was flowing around Nethtari's obelisk strikes down at you, hits you in the back, and just kind of seeps out from in front of you before fading into the ether. You feel it's almost like a poison begins to course through your veins, but you just power through it. Just will yourself onwards, willing this effect to just not affect you in any way, shape, or form. And surprisingly, it works. You're able to power through, not taking as much damage as I would hope
So
you would have taken. 14 points of necrotic damage. Okay. With that, we move to the top of the initiative order. Cora, can you roll me a death saving throw, please?
Actually, do I still have my item on me?
Your
Okay.
item. I've not been. Sorry, I can't bring up Discord. Yeah. No, you've still got that on you.
Okay, cool. So then I don't need
but-
to. I'm stable.
Actually, can you roll me a death saving throw anyway, please? Just in
Alright.
case. Because if you roll a 20, you're 1 HP and conscious. With your item, you're just stable and still
plus
unconscious.
Constitution modifier.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. You're stable, but you're not conscious.
Yep.
Okay, cool. That then moves on to Nethtari. Can you also roll me a death saving throw, please? As a success. No problem. Moves on to Victorilas' turn in initiative. This is going by pretty quickly. Now, anyway. People are dying! Yeah! I mean, aww.
Have I jumped in front of the air elemental? As far as turns go.
Yeah, because the once the individual went down from your attack, she's lost control of the elemental, so it's now just rampaging. It will attack anything and anyone, including her. So I rolled its own initiative now, so it's now you.
Right.
Because I am now in full control of the elemental. Imagine if the elemental wins this, actually, because technically it's now a combatant. That would fuck everything over.
That's an interesting thing. Okay, I'm gonna run towards this small door, and I'm gonna attempt to get up to the tower.
Okay. You're... Alright, so that was the end of your turn, 5, 10. Yeah, okay. So you managed to get up to the top of the tower, which is just there. That is going to be your full movement, and because it was a small door, it is your, like I said, your action to get up there as well. So you've only got your bonus action now, and from what you can see Nethtari currently unconscious at the base of the ladder. The air elemental just kind of looming over him. No eyes on the other individual.
Shit, Nethtari. In which case, I'm going to move my my hunter's mark as my bonus action onto the air elemental.
Okay. Shift it over.
I'm going to try to, because I don't know whether that person's dead or not. But if they are, it'll let me do it.
They're unconscious but not dead. Let me double check Hunter's mark here. It will take your bonus action to. It will take your bonus action, but it will take a spell slot to do this. Because it's only actually, no. Actually, misread that. It will not cost you a spell slot. If the target drops to 0 hit points before the spell ends, you can use a bonus action on a subsequent turn of yours to mark a new creature. Does not take a spell slot because target dropped to 0 hit points.
Awesome. Then I will do that and end my turn there.
Okay, sorry, I'm just getting a text from my mum. No, I am dead. Sorry. She just sent me a text, asked me if I was still alive. Yes, sent me a text. Are you still alive? No, I'm dead. Sorry. Okay, cool. Your turn is over. Right. The air elemental is going to first is going to roll for a. Hold on a second. Cool. It's going to take a recharge to roll. It does get its whirlwind back. It's going to make an attack against you, Nethtari. You're unconscious and prone before it, so the attack is at advantage. That is a 20 to hit. So that's an unnatural 20 to hit, so that does hit. It's an auto crit. So it's an automatic crit, so that's 2 fails to your. Well, it is automatically hit, so that's 2 fails to your death save.
Pick up 2 more fails.
Yes, that's 2 fails to your death save. That is a 4. if right now, essentially, if on this roll, if this thing rolls a 12 or higher, you're dead. It rolled a 15. You watch as you get to the top of the stairs, Victorilas. You kind of look over and see this this air elemental just bring one fist down onto Nethtari with a sickening poof. The structure kind of shudders for a minute. It's bits of stone and rock just kind of crumble and tumble off into the abyss. And then the second hand just like another thundering shake. You hear in the distance somewhere behind you as what you can assume to be Nethtari's obelisk shatters, and as the elemental kind of comes to its full height and turns around looking up towards you, just behind it you can see the battered and extremely dead body of Nethtari before Nethtari shatters into the ether.
Oh, it's like the end of Farscape all over again.
With that, the elemental is going to fly up to here. I need you to roll me a strength saving throw, please, as it uses its whirlwind on you.
Strength. Oh, I spelled that right.
21. Yeah, no problem.
Take off the last death save and make me dead then.
No, just leave it as it is just now. Half the bludgeoning damage isn't flung away or knocked prone. Cool. Right. So you take 3d8 plus 2. Where's my d8 again? There it is. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 15. So that'll be 8 points of bludgeoning damage to you, as the whirlwind of the elemental just kind of batters you as it moves up into your space. With that, there's a rumble from all around, and you can hear laughter.
One down, 2 to go. Who will win? And who will die? This is getting exciting. Let's keep going.
As you glance around, Victorilas, you can see the remaining 2 obelisks start to billow around with a bright white energy that starts to flow up again from the base up to the tip of the obelisk. With that, can't act, dead. It's your turn in initiative. Victorilas?
Oh, okay. So, So I can't see from here whether. Can I see from here if the crystals are still intact? The
Yeah,
obelisk?
from here you can see that your obelisk and the stranger's obelisk is still intact.
And I can't see anything on this platform.
You can't see anything on the tower.
But I've seen Nethtari die, and I'm not happy about it. Okay. I'm going to take 2 shots with my arrow, ignoring this air elemental for now, and seeing Nethtari shattered. I'm going to take 2 shots at the obelisk over here.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your first attack. Check something here. 150. Yeah, cool. 17. Let me just double check something here. Where is it? There it is. I'll miss, actually. As you pull taut your bow and let loose the arrow, the billowing wind of the elemental, the moment you let loose the arrow, you just watch it veer off and just vanish into the abyss behind your target.
Alright, I'll take my other shot.
Mm-hmm. And go ahead.
For the best. 25.
Okay. That will hit as you manage to steady yourself and you wait for a moment, and you've been training, like, using your longbow for a very long time, and thinking back to your mother's lessons when you were first trying to hit a target, dealing with the elements around you. You draw your arrow, you wait, and at the moment there's a sudden lull in the air around you as the wind dies down, you let loose. The arrow sails true, embedding into the obelisk. Cora, that's 2 death failed. That's 2 fails to your death saving throws.
Excellent.
Anything else you would like to do on your turn, Victorilas?
Okay, question. If I was to run back down these steps, A, would it trigger an attack of opportunity from the elemental?
Yes.
And B, could I hide inside the tower rather than exiting out through one of the doors?
You could make an attempt. A, yes. B, you can most certainly try to.
But I would get an attack. It would get an attack of opportunity. Running away.
Yes, it would get an attack of opportunity because you are breaking its melee range as you move down the stairs away from it. And B, you can try to. You can most certainly try to hide.
You can most certainly try. Well, he is made of wind, so I'm not sure it's going to serve much purpose. But I'm going to brace myself against the wind and end my turn there.
Okay, it moves on to the elemental's turn. Okay, let's see here. It's not disadvantage. Slam is a 23 and a 20. Does a 20 hit your armor class?
20 just hits, yeah.
20 just hits as you turn up and look at the elemental. It kind of takes both fists and brings them down towards you. Your cloak displaces, and a look of shock like your displaced self looks up in shock and glances over to you before the fist the 2 fists come down and crack you straight on the chest. You stumble back a couple of paces, managing to catch yourself on the stairs. You take 3, 8 plus 5, 13 points of bludgeoning damage on the first attack. And the second attack, that is a 16 plus 8, that's a 24 to hit. That will be 3. Wait, no, wrong dice. My apologies. I picked up my D10 instead of my D8. So 8, 5, that's 13, 18 points of bludgeoning damage on the second attack as it brings its fists up and slams down into you again. Before it then turns on the spot and the wind starts to billow up, and I need you to roll me another strength saving throw, please.
Just a 10.
Okay. Direction. Cool. Good to know. You take 3, 4, 5, 11, 13 points of bludgeoning damage.
Jesus.
Yep. You are launched 20 feet south. So you'll come to a stop down here.
Uh-huh.
If you can move your token for me, please, because I can't move you at the moment.
So I go over the wall?
Over the wall and down here onto this platform. Once you hit the deck, you take... Where is it? It is 6 points of bludgeoning damage from the fall itself.
Okay.
And you are knocked prone at the moment. And then with a roll, that's a 1, so it doesn't recharge. And then like that's the end there. The voice kind of rings out again. This time again, Victorilas, you kind of sense that it's been following you more than anything. Seems as you're the survivor essentially, and the voice kind of like it's still all around, but it seems like it's almost a whisper in your right ear.
Well done. So far, so good. The question begs, can you finish the job before the beast finishes you? Let's find out.
Okay, that's that. And that's that. Cool. Knocked prone. Can you roll me a dex save at disadvantage, please, Victorilas? Okay, and now can you roll me a second dex save, just normal throw, please? 25. Okay. As you kind of as you're pushing yourself up from prone, you listen to the voice and kind of glance over to your side, and you see that swirling white energy kind of coalesce at the top in a beacon of white light that then streaks down towards you. You successfully manage to roll out of the way of the incoming strike, avoiding some of the damage, not realizing that, it's just an edge that leads into an abyss below you. As you feel the effect of gravity taking you down, you manage to reach up and catch onto the edge and are now suspended over an abyss. You take 2, 8, 16, 24, Jesus Christ, 24, 30, 34, 36, 42, 21 points of radiant damage, as you narrowly avoid getting hit with this beam of white radiant energy, and are now kind of hanging over the edge here, suspended over the abyss. With that, it then moves on to your turn in initiative. I would like you to roll me an acrobatics check, please.
Just out of interest, with the stranger having failed 2 death saving throws, they not have to make another one, or is that not applicable?
On their turn? They would, yeah. But okay. There are things happening.
What am I doing? Acrobatics.
Acrobatics check, please. Yes.
Check, not save.
Not a check. Not a save. Yes, just a check. Acrobatics to see if you're able. Okay. High or low, please.
Low.
That's okay. as you kind of begin to pull yourself up, the impact of the elemental's attacks in this area as it wailed on Nethtari's unconscious body, you're pulling yourself up, and the damage that's caused kind of causes a bit of rubble to slip out from under one of your hands. You drop down. You're still able to hang on just, but you're now holding on by one hand to the ledge. Managed to bring your second hand back up, still holding on. I would like you to roll me one more acrobatics check, please.
Rubbish.
And high or low?
Low again.
I can't believe this has happened. As you're pulling yourself back up, the entire chunk, I rolled a 77. Just so you're aware, 77. The entire chunk of the ledge breaks out from underneath you, and actually, give me a dex save. One last chance. Dex save. 24. You latch on, just digging in. This is going to be your entire turn for this, I'm afraid. As you're trying to climb back and clamber back up for these skill checks. You manage to catch on, just, and no more. Your strength is waning. You're not going to be able to hang here for long. With that...
Master was very generous there.
Given that that's my entire turn, is there one more tiny little thing I can do?
It depends. What would you like to try?
Letting go.
You just want to let go?
Oh, just saying, could I if I wanted to?
If you want to. Yeah, you can let go if you want to. I mean, it is nothing but that abyss below you.
I calm my mind for a moment and I think about where we are now and what we've got to do. And I keep holding on.
Okay. The Cora, you're fine.
Yeah?
Air Elemental's turn. It flows down. It stops before you, Victorilas. I really hope I roll higher than that for this advantage. Oh, that's an 18 to hit. Victorilas?
No, that doesn't hit.
Okay, as you watch the swirl of the elemental flow down. It rolled a 2 on its first attack. You watch as it brings one of its fists up, and you anticipating its attack. You manage to kind of like spin around and catch onto the ledge. You're kind of now outstretched, like think Christ on the cross, just outstretched with both hands, just hanging on, using as much of your strength that you have remaining to hold on before you plummet into the abyss. The elemental missing its first attack. The second attack against you. That's a 12, and that's an 18 to hit. So that will do... You're not prone, so it's not an automatic crit. But that's a D10 again.
18 doesn't hit my armor class.
No, so it's an 18 plus 8. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 18 plus 8. Yeah, so I rolled a natural 18, sorry. Sorry, that's my bad. I rolled a 12 and then an 18. So that's 4... 10, 15 points of bludgeoning damage, and I need you to roll me a strength save, please.
Well, if I go unconscious, sure, I'm just going to fall off anyway.
Are you about to fall unconscious?
Oh, I will be, yeah. Very much so. Very unconscious.
Wait, this is about to knock you unconscious? Oh my god, I just...
Out cold completely.
I just noticed how much health you're sitting at. Holy shit. Yeah, okay. As you kind of, you're kind of struggling, Like after the first attack, you look up and like see the second fist coming down to you. You just close your eyes, wait for the impending hit, and
Can I let go before he hits me? Can I let go before he hits me? No.
yeah, no. As you're hanging on, you see the fist. You see like the first strike miss as you like reach out, and you're now basically in a crucified position. You watch as it brings its fists up, and in that moment, just decide that if you're going to go out, you're going out on your own terms. You use your reaction to let go, and you
Ripley Aliens 3 style finishing cinematic.
Yeah, let's go with that. As you plummet deep into this abyss, the world around you goes that same color, that deep black swirled with greys and whites. The voice.
So close, yet so very far. You were entertaining, but just not good enough.
As the world kind of goes black around you, you feel your body kind of splinter and then shatter, and the world goes white around you. I will be right back. As the events of what has just happened transpired, there is a kind of a bright white flash that is illuminated in front of your eyelids, and you suddenly blink and come to consciousness. Looking around, you're still in the very strange arena that you find yourself waking up in. You see from out in the abyss what looks to be a coalesced figure suddenly starts to descend down upon you as a very well-dressed looking individual, blue-scaled tiefling from what you can gather, kind of just steps down towards you.
Well done. Very well done. You didn't do much. You almost died. But you're elemental.
And with a snap of his fingers, the elemental just ceases to exist.
It's done a lot of work in your favor. Even though you were kind of unconscious for the most part.
I'd like to consider that a fluke.
Fluke or not, you're the winner, my dear. I present to you a gift.
And he reaches remember to turn that off. Reaches into his back pocket and just his hand is almost empty for a second, and then a card appears in his hand. He then reaches over and passes it to you.
What is it?
It is in your journal now for you to look at, I will say, so it is there for you.
That is my calling card, you could say. You've won. Therefore, you will have my power to use once and only once. And if it is something I can do, it will be done. If it is not, then I'm afraid you're vastly out of luck. But he who calls upon the favor of the tormentor shall be granted an opportunity to rewrite fate itself. Now, my dear, sleep.
And he snaps his fingers once again. The black and grey swirling abyss of the area around you kind of coalesces around you into your vision. Everything just seems to go pitch dark as sleep finally overtakes you once more. And we are back with Victorilas and Nethtari. Now, as you feel your bodies shatter, Nethtari, you're the first to come to as you kind of jolt awake in your camp. You glance around, like you reach over to your quarterstaff, looking around, waiting to see the incoming attack from this unknown individual, this deep demonic voice from nowhere, this air elemental that was beating the shit out of you. Talar and Temple just kind of glance over to you, a look of concern on Talar's face. Temple kind of puts his fingers up and like to where his eyebrows would be and tries to emulate a look of concern on his face. Talar, are you okay?
God, did we have mushrooms again last night?
No illegal substances.
Bad dreams.
Bad dreams. Everyone suffers from them. And then a few moments later, Victorilas, for the first time ever, really, you actually wake up from sleep, not actually taking your meditative state, actually slipping to full unconsciousness. You wake up, you reach for your longbow, you can grab an arrow from your quiver and look around. The same, like it's almost the exact same reaction as you like glance around. You take in your environment. You see Temple, you see Nethtari there beside you, and you see Talar kind of look down to you. Both of you at once. That's very interesting. Did you have a bad dream as well, Victorilas?
I tell you what, I am getting fucking sick of being kidnapped and walked into weird dimensions and all this shit.
You were there too. It wasn't a dream.
Kidnapped into a weird dimension? That sounds like fun. Why couldn't I take part?
What do you mean, Nethtari, that you were really there?
The citadel? In the sky? The big fart monster?
Yeah, it did me in too.
Felt what it feels like to die.
I've just felt what it feels like to wake up from sleep. It really is quite incredible.
But have we got any beer around here? I need a beer.
There's no beer in the camp, as you know you've just left Stillman.
Should we go back to Stillman for some beer? I mean, this is...
Talar just kind of turns to you and is like, "Hey, I can help you here. Just go back to sleep. Victorilas, you do whatever it is that you do. I can aid you in getting some rest, and when the time comes for Temple and I to get some rest, then we'll wake you. Just get some sleep, okay?" And she kind of what do we do here? She reaches over to the both of you and places a hand on each of you, casting lesser restoration on you, and you feel a warm glow. Just like you see that that pale glow, like that moonlit glow from her hand, and the warm sensation just flows through you, and you feel like you should be able to meditate and go to sleep hopefully without anything invading your dreams.
I'm gonna whisper as I calm myself. Nethtari, if you were there and I was there, then a man died, and somebody else may well still be out there.
But I died there, and I'm still here.
It's a good point. What I mean is those were real people.
Yeah.
Like us.
met an enemy without actually meeting them.
Do you remember anything about them?
They had a bird and a nasty fart monster.
Bird, nasty fart monster. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got as well.
Don't remember much else about them. I don't know, an elf or something?
They, from what you can gather, they look to be elvish in nature, but they didn't really get up close and personal with you for you to get a really good look. So unless you were to somehow come across this person in the near future, you wouldn't be able to tell what race they were.
You're talking a funny language at me. Was that elvish? You were.
Victorilas, no, you didn't hear Elvish. You heard and understood Primordial.
Yes.
But the and yeah, actually no, and Elvish as well. Sorry, yeah, I just noticed that. Yeah, you heard Elvish. Nethtari, you weren't able to understand it at all. But you also heard Primordial.
Can I recall what was said?
It seemed like it was a command given to the fart monster by the individual who summoned it. I personally can't recall exactly what was said. I'd have to go through the VOD.
Defend me by order of House Ramiel.
There you go. Defend me by order of House Ramiel. And you would have been able to understand that, so you can note that down.
What's the spelling of that?
That would be Romeo Alpha Mike India Echo Lima.
Whoever it was, they might prove useful. That was some powerful magic.
Yeah, I wish I'd considered it more carefully at the time. Still,
We could have actually fought our way out of there. I mean, if we'd all teamed up together and tried to, I don't know.
to be honest, Neftari, I considered throwing myself into the abyss at the start of that whole charade.
Just a sort of, I'm not going to play your game.
Yeah, I've had enough of this kidnapping and time warpy reality shit.
Yeah, I would have let everybody jump off. But, I mean, the voice was promising some sort of reward. I couldn't really tell what it was saying. But...
Well, that's what bothers me, is there's an individual out there that has been promised great reward, and thing was good to its word, is now carrying around said great reward.
Ooh, treasure?
Magic items, weapons, who knows? But we've got enough enemies.
They might have been paid in wine.
They may, if we should find them, if that's the case.
They may have been paid in eyeballs to lick, for all you know, Nethtari.
Actually, I took my currency in raw eggs to suck.
Anyway, is there anything else that you guys would like to do before you turn in for the evening?
No, I've had my fill.
Okay. And one last thing to do very quickly. And Cora, as you slowly and naturally come to consciousness, you kind of rub the sleep out of your eyes and take a glance around. Sir Barclay is still there, just perched to your side, just watching over you, kind of ruffles his feathers and looks at you before taking a look back over to the door. You kind of think to yourself about that very strange dream, the voice, the people, the events, and as you kind of You adjust yourself in your bed, ready to go back to sleep. You roll over, and there in your hand, as you kind of prepare to fall back asleep, is the card that was passed to you. And the realization that it may have been a dream, but it definitely happened. You put the card away and with the rest of your belongings and slowly go back to sleep. And we are back, and engines in the background. With that, I would like all three of you to roll a long rest once again, so that you're all at full health, full spell slots and shit, because that was a dream. It didn't actually happen. No dream sequences. No, it was a dream sequence. So even though it still happened, you still get your benefit of your long rest. And we are going to call it at that for a session for tonight. Short one. Again, unfortunately, because Talar and Temple are not able to join us this evening. Next week, I don't think we have any issues. Temple will be was only covering this one shift, I believe. Talar, was Talar doing something next week as well, or I can't remember.
2 dates she said. Hang on, let me check.
Yeah,
I know she said 12th, and it might be 2 weeks' time.
Let me go here.
7th and the 14th. No, so one of them was when we were at LaveCon.
One was last week when we were at LaveCon, and the other one was this week. So next week we should be back to full strength with Talar and Temple. Hopefully Temple rejoining us, as well as, again, Temple was covering a shift at work and was unfortunately unable to make it.
Can we actually say hello to this new person, because we haven't been introduced yet?
Yes. This is Sirox, also known as Kayla. This is my one of two of my closest friends, whom I went over to Atlanta, Georgia,
Sorry,
to go and see a couple
years
ago.
Faces.
Wizards do what wizards do.
Wizard stuff.
Exactly, wizard stuff.
You can't face. You were lying on the floor for most of that, anyway.
But
Yeah, I mean,
still did my work.
to be fair, she won that while unconscious.
I technically won it, and that's the best kind of.
Winning by technicality is still a win, regardless.
Quite a handy spell, actually. That even if you die, it's still.
Well, it depends. It was the positioning of the elemental that kind of aided her, because if she had gone unconscious where you had been, Nethtari, it would have been a roll of the dice to see which person the air elemental attacked when Victorilas was hanging off the side. So that would have been down to the dice to see who it attacked, because
Also,
falling
my
unconscious.
corpse was hiding.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah, it would have been a roll on the dice to see, and she may have been hit. But there are other things in the background that changed the flow of the fight in regards to her character, which you may or may not find out in future sessions. That remains to be seen. But anyway, I'm going to dip down very quickly for 5 minutes to close out the session, and then I'll be back up and we can continue to discuss shit. So I will be straight back. Boop, and there we go. So that was fun for a battle royale. I didn't again. I need some really ominous kind of battle music to go into the background because it's kind of quiet and it's kind of shit. So I'll see about getting that kind of crap set up in future, because it's I'm presuming that anyway, music kind of thing that you need to do. This is my first time rolling with the Voice Mod Pro voice changer as well. I hope it worked. and I hope it was it was at least you could kind of understand what I was saying. I've never actually used it on SLOBS before. I've used it on TeamSpeak, so I know it works, but I don't know how it comes across on SLOBS. So hopefully that was okay. A kind of demonic, spoopy voice. I'll be hopefully doing a bit more of that in the future. But going back through, Breaker for the follow 2 hours ago. Thank you very much. One more follower just helps out unbelievably, regardless of whether I only do this once a week or whenever I get the offer. Once a week for the D&D on Sundays, absolutely. But anything in between is kind of hit or miss. So again, thank you so much for the follow. Greatly appreciate that. And Contraband, Dakota, that was 745 bits. I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong, you're my brother, but why me? Why give me the bits? You can give the bits to other people. Thank you. I love you, bro. You're fucking awesome. Thank you. It was all for Kayla because Kayla did so much. Kayla kicked ass and Kayla was amazing. And Kayla's going to make a great entrance to the campaign next week, hopefully. And everything's going to be awesome. Anyway, thank you everyone so much for joining us this week. We'll hopefully be back to full strength with a full party as of next week. And I will be able to go ahead and go boop and add this to the board there as we now hopefully have a full party. But we'll see you next week. Thank you all for sticking out, and we'll catch you later.